And welcome once again to SDGC episode 182 for Thursday, April the 2nd. If you're not already aware, SDGC goes live each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we discuss the latest gaming headlines with a wide variety of panel members and guests. This is the second week in a row. I don't have the actual script in front of me because I'm just completely disorganized right now. The days are starting to blend together. I haven't left my house really in weeks. Today I started wondering if a pickle and peanut butter sandwich would be any good. So my mind is definitely going places with everything that's going on. So I'm really excited for Resident Evil 3 to come along at midnight tonight and save me because Jesus fucking Christ. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and we have two really good friends with us on the podcast tonight. One of them is Daan. I mean, everybody knows Daan. It's just Daan is the pro gamer. He pull
John, you are so much more responsible
pro
at this
gamer.
point.
Daan just pulled a pro gamer move by pointing at me and claiming that it's my fault.
It is your fault.
Yeah, by blaming everything on me, you are actually pulling a pro gamer move. That's what gamers do.
During the last pancake roast, you said it was my fault. Well, I never said it during a call, and now you're doing it again. It's your fault now at this point.
Daan, speaking of things that aren't anybody's fault, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. You good?
I mean, it is day 22 of self-isolation.
Yeah. Are the walls starting to close in, Daan? Are your amiibo starting to talk to you? Have you started looking at the window naming blades of grass yet?
This week, because I have a weakened immune system, I have to go to a special hour to do my groceries, and that was freaking weird.
Oh, dude, that sucks. Jesus. Well, I'm just glad you're here with us.
I was
Daan.
with a bunch of old people, so that was fun.
People John's age, man. God, all these old fuckers.
I was gonna say, you got to be careful around the old people because they're the ones with the riskiest behaviors right now. But that's probably not as true in Europe as it is in the United States.
No, it's
where people over 60 have become a coronavirus death cult.
I went for a run. Downtown a few days ago. Just in a secluded part of the city, so I wouldn't be near to anybody. And the streets are deserted, but I ran down by the river, and there's all these people playing volleyball and shit. And I'm like, you're all idiots. Yeah. You're all stupid. I'm like, holy shit. But of course, as always, it's great to have Daan with us. And first appearance on the podcast, Elizabeth Garcia.
Hi.
Hi, Lizzie. So I asked Lizzie, so Tom was going to join us tonight, but Tom, 20 minutes before we started, who's like, hey, man, none of my shit's working. And I was like, well, fuck, great. So I was like, Lizzie's never been on, and Lizzie's cool. Lizzie, I don't want to tell everybody about what you do. I would rather it come from you.
Sure. I'm the senior editor at butwhythopodcast.com. So I write primarily about comics, but also a lot about video games, particularly video game accessibility. And I do deaf and hard of hearing reviews for Can I Play That?
And you guys do great work over there. I am a big fan of everything you're doing. And Lizzie's actually been there, and Daan has been there for a few SDGC Animal Crossing community game nights as well. Those are always a good time.
Yeah.
They are a great time.
Yes, they really are. And of course, Justin and Derek are here, as always. Justin, how you doing, buddy?
All right. How are you?
Well, aside from this global virus problem and shitty leadership, I guess I'm okay because Final Fantasy VII comes out next week, so at least I have that. That's what I'm clinging to right now, Justin. And Derek, how are you doing, buddy?
I, as you all can see, have hit stage 8 on the Britney Spears meltdown progress list.
Big change.
Yeah,
big changes.
My hair was getting real gross and real ratty and long, and my cowlick was out of control. And obviously, non-essential services are shut down. I cannot get a haircut, so I just decided to take care of that myself and take a Bic and some shaving cream to my head, and it worked out pretty
have
well.
a question, Derek.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to ask what everybody is thinking. How long is that beard going to get?
I said that I'm not cutting it until the pandemic is over. Now, I said this several weeks ago, maybe a month ago, before things really hit the fan here in the United States.
You're gonna be able to join ZZ Top.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be like a several week, maybe couple months long process. And now that the conversation is talking about how this could be the next 14 to 18 months of our life, depending on how long we wait for vaccines to come around, I don't know for hygiene purposes that I'm going to be able to stick it out. Like,
I am going to send you an Enter the Gungeon beanie
yeah.
so we can wear it
Because
on the same night.
yeah, I may be willing to grow a beard, but I need to remind you all, I am very gay and I do have standards. So this can't get too ratty. Like that's
Me on the other hand, my shit's just gonna go all over the
nah.
place because.
Yeah.
But like right now, Derek looks like Shadow John from Persona.
I have
Like,
got the most. I was joking about this with John and Justin before we came on. I have the most platonic ideal of a head shape.
You do.
I
You've
have
got like a perfectly
the
round
absolute
dome.
most normal shaped head that has ever been created. So I'm
I
very
don't.
lucky that I could shave my head and not be self-conscious about it, because John, you are bald and you have a big old peanut head.
I do have a big peanut head, dude. Like, it fucking sucks. I hate it.
You got
I absolutely fucking hate
some
it.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull shit going on. Like,
I really fucking hate it. Hey, by the way, Justin, can you throw the link to the podcast in the Discord, please?
the Discord to the podcast.
Do you mean the link
chat?
to the Discord in the podcast chat?
No, the link to the podcast in Discord under announcements.
Oh,
Got it,
okay.
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you could do that and just tag everybody and annoy the shit out of them, I'd appreciate that. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. I thought we'd start first with what everybody is playing. We'll try to keep this short because we do have some pretty big topics tonight. And you know what? Ladies first, we'll start with Lizzie. Lizzie, what are you playing right now? What is keeping you going during this pandemic lockdown?
When I'm working, I work between Animal Crossing. So like answer emails, do writing, and then Animal Crossing. And then at night, I've been doing Persona 5 Royal. So a very busy woman.
I fired that up the other night, but then I stopped because I was like, you know what? Resident Evil 3 comes out in just like a day. Then Final Fantasy 7 comes out next week. I'm going to wait till both of those are done, and then I'll have almost all of May to take care of Persona 5 Royal.
I have no doubt that I'll beat Resident Evil in 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Like, but
I've just kept going with Persona. And then I know that when my boyfriend, Cloud Strife, arrives at my door, that will be the majority of my time. So I'm trying to do as much Persona as possible. I've done pretty good timing, all things considered, when it's like a 100, 200 plus hour game, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have a,
so
I have a
Liz-
question real quick, actually. Now,
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
did you play the original release of Persona 5?
Yes.
Okay. Have they made adjustments to the opening, like, hour or two of the game for pacing or not? Because
so the
I'm ready for a new game plus, but, like, I do remember that being kind of a drag very early on.
So the story is pretty much the same, but they have 2 additional characters, which basically flesh things out a little bit more. The thing I'm really liking is they've added and tweaked some game mechanics, one of which is you can go to bed much later,
yeah.
which means that you're able to get your social statuses up and your statuses with your confidants up much faster, which is kind of the biggest stress reliever. Like, I'm not even at the second palace really, and I already have like level 2 on charm, and I already have like level 3 with 2 of my confidants. So that's already like a stress relief because it feels less grindy in the way you don't want it to be grindy. Like, I'm okay with grinding, like leveling up my actual character through battles, but like having to constantly figure out ways to like find kindness and find charm is just really weird, and I don't love it. So this is better for that. It feels like I'm moving at a better pace. Like, it's more rewarding.
And that was my problem with Persona 5, right? Is that like as good as it was not very well paced at all.
A lot of that is fixed.
Well, and like one of the
so
biggest
good.
problems I had with Persona 5 was Morgana constantly telling me to go to sleep, and I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep, Morgana. I want to do pull-ups.
But
He
when
doesn't.
Kyle
Sorry, Morgan.
Gatto is constantly yelling at you to stay hydrated, you're not annoyed.
No, because Kyle is pure.
Maybe you should
and-
respect Morgana the way you respect Kyle.
Okay, well, you know
Nobody-
what?
No.
You know what?
What?
You
Absolutely not. Nobody
Yeah.
should respect Morgana.
yeah, absolutely.
Why would I respect Morgana when I can have the same healing powers on one of my personas and put him in the back? Unless that cat is being a bus, it is a worthless ass cat. Come at me.
So, Lizzie, is there anything else you wanted to mention?
I will be starting Resident Evil 3 probably tonight or tomorrow, depending how I feel.
Midnight
Sometimes
tonight.
I get nervous playing spooky things at night and watching spooky things at night because then I get spooked.
See, spooky things get nervous when I play them at night. So
That's
so
the
I'm
difference.
so that's kind of where I'm at.
Do you
So.
just show them the shape of your head and then they're less?
No, I actually showed them the picture of me holding a weed whacker.
Okay.
and that's usually all it takes.
No, my
He pulls
Photoshop
off the
pictures.
beanie, and then the light just fills everything.
Yeah, I show them Dawn's Photoshop pictures of me, and then I growl bye bye butt man, and that's that. Like Tyrant, Mr. X he can't handle that shit. I do have one
Mr. X
question.
did not scare me because he had a cute little hat.
He did. That's why I shot it off.
Then you
and
shoot the hat off and he
scary
moves
again.
faster, and it's like, oh
Because
no.
he's mad.
He's
mad.
mad. He lost his little hat, but I
Yeah.
did
He's
shoot it off
actually-
because you get an achievement, and I wanted the achievement.
Is Mr. X an incel because he wears that stupid fedora? Like, is he a fedora wearing? Like,
I'm pretty
incel?
sure tyrants don't have genitalia, so yes,
But how can we know for sure?
because
Because
it's-
they're
Did you see the mod
usually
where he was
naked.
we-
He's the
No, but
one
did
that
you-
wore clothes.
Didn't you see the mod where he was wearing?
No, and
a
I
banana
don't
hammock?
want you to finish this. Oh,
where
no.
he was Thomas the Tank Engine. Yes, I did.
I have one question for Lizzie before
Okay.
we move on to Don. Cloud or Rufus?
Cloud.
Okay, just wanted to. I've seen some arguing happen about it on the forum, so I just wanted to. I wanted to see what you thought about that.
Always Cloud.
Always Cloud. Okay, Don, what are you playing, man?
I've been playing a lot, honestly. The last 3 weeks before this, it was solely Animal Crossing, nothing else.
How many hours do you have in that game now?
About 200.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
I mean, I've been playing it now for 31 days, so that sort of makes sense right now.
Your island is beautiful.
It is.
Thanks. I finally got the robot hero today.
Did you build it? You actually
Yeah.
built it.
Yeah.
Dude, the all right. The building
like
requirements for the
Baymax.
mech are ridiculous.
I know. I had to ask like 10 different Discord servers, hey, do you have materials for me?
Can somebody give me some rusted bits, please? Some rusted
Yeah.
pieces, please.
I had to pick them up from like 25 different islands.
If you actually, when I'm having a brain fart at Gulliver. When Gulliver washes up on the beach and he
Yeah.
asks you to find his communicator parts, if you just leave them there, they turn into rusted bits.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they do.
I had no idea. Sorry, I burped as I said I did not know that. So that's why it sounded like I did not know that.
I thought
Don,
you were
please
getting
continue.
choked up.
Yes.
I'm
I'm
getting really emotional.
So Animal Crossing was the biggest time sinker again this week. I already built up a secondary house, which I filled with themed rooms. I made an arcade in my basement, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I made a pure bathroom with 8 different toilets in the upper deck
Wait, what? Why?
because I can.
I mean, shit, dude. That's as good a reason as any.
Hey, shit, I
want
like
8.
it. I like
want
it.
8 toilets. I want to be able to. When I take a shit, I want options.
Heck yeah. So outside of
Justin
that,
looks disgusted with this conversation.
Oh no, I was waiting to say you could get all your friends in there and then
Heck yeah.
just party.
Oh, you could. Like what? Like,
that's why I did 8 toilets.
oh, Don, we need to make that happen to take a picture.
I don't like
Yeah, we could.
this.
I already have it done.
Lizzie, what are you talking about? You ran around on my island swinging an axe into everybody's face.
That's not nearly as gross.
We'll be the
It's a little
party
more
poopers of
aggressive,
night.
but
It's definitely more aggressive. Like,
I am often told I am more aggressive.
It's more honestly, that is more aggressive.
Lizzie's a serial murderer in Animal Crossing.
you can't
and Don is
murder
just
in Animal Crossing.
Don is just a serial shitter
I
in
can try.
Animal Crossing.
Anyway,
you can murder things actually, and you can murder trees. Trees are living
do.
things, right? You cut them
I do
down.
that. Yeah, I have
Right.
done that. I've done a lot of that.
I'm a tree hugger.
Murderer.
I
Don, what
also-
else?
Other
I didn't
than that,
mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're
Jason, sorry.
fine. I was gonna say that.
other than that, I
found-
finished Good Job this week. The game that was announced during that direct
Oh,
mini.
good job, dude.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
So there are like different floors with a bunch of different physics-based missions, and it was really gosh darn fun. I had a really good time playing that.
I've
game.
heard a lot of good things about this game, actually.
Yeah. So every tool in all the environments you can interact with and play with, so you can get some really interactive and fun solutions out of it. So you can rank up as much damage as possible and go for a quick run as fast as you can. Or you can play it very conservative and unplug this, move that around, and keep it as low as possible. So I've done it mostly both ways, and there were some really funny results along the way.
How much does this cost? How much is the game?
It's $20, but there's a good amount of levels in there, and the replayability of those levels, because every floor is a playground. I feel I got a lot out of it, way more than a conventional game likely should do.
You know, Don, for a minute, I thought you were going to say every level is a plague, and I was like, that's really topical. That's really relevant to our times. For a split second, I thought that's where you were going. I really did. It's not a dad joke at all.
Could you stop?
What? Never.
Okay. And then the third big thing that I played this week was I also went back to Ring Fit Adventure. Back when it came out, I completed the regular game. I didn't go into the post-game content ever before this. So I first did rhythm mode, and it's like, okay, this is fun. This is a good time. Did some of the jogging stuff, and then I went back into the adventure mode. Turns out, for every world that was in the main game, there's an extra world for every one of those.
That's a lot.
So basically, it's double you think that the game is. The game is already 18 worlds. Turns out there's 36 worlds in total.
Wow. Is there like there should be like a super boss in that game where like you have to get on a treadmill and set the elevation at like 15.
Your
and
guide
just
in that
sprint
game
as hard
is
as you can.
your guide in the new version of that game is Drago.
Oh, okay. All right. That's the villain. That's the villain.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. All right. See, I know almost nothing about this game because I don't have.
Honestly, it's a really good game that people
I've
should
heard
play.
that.
I know it's very low in stock right now, but hopefully sometime.
Because everybody is stuck at home
Yeah.
and everybody's trying to stay in shape.
I've been
Yeah.
struggling with, should I just get really into doing Wii Fit or Ring Fit, or should I flip it and sell it because it's going for a lot of money
It's
right
okay,
now.
Justin. I
And
call it
it's
Wii
a
Fit,
tough
too.
decision.
I think it's better than Wii Fit in a lot of ways because
Oh yeah, it's
with,
really good.
Yeah, with Wii Fit, I felt that I couldn't do every single option in that game. With here, you can kind of adjust it to your playing ground and also how the ring interacts with you. So I feel I can really scale it down to my level, and I
That's
feel
really
that
cool.
yeah, I honestly feel that it's a lot more satisfying to play that way. If you are more of a fitness expert, you can scale it all the way up. If you are very novice, you can scale it all the way down to basically focus to your level. And I'm a guy who cannot run all the time, so you can also use like the stay in place options to really still get moving around. So
That's really cool.
It's so handy for accessibility options.
Accessibility is Lizzie's thing.
Yeah.
Do they?
But it's,
I hate you. Do they have options for like? So I assume the options is if you're like only wanted to do something seated.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay, so if you were in a wheelchair, hypothetically, but if you still had some
You could.
mobility, you could still use it.
You don't have to use the leg strap and just basically hop in place. You can even do it from a chair. But then
Okay.
the rest of the movements for the arms or what have you and the upper body, you would still do regularly.
Interesting.
Cool. Well, we just, for the second time, we got to move on to let's do Justin. Justin, what are you playing right now, man? What's keeping you going?
I'm still playing Doom Eternal.
Of course you are.
But I also played through the new DLC for Control, which is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I've heard good things.
It wasn't great, but eventually the story got going and there was some really cool stuff in there. The new ability that you get are pretty cool. So I'm interested. Like a lot of it did kind of feel like a bit of a setup for the next DLC. So
There's more coming, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one's like the big one.
Ooh, the big one. All right.
And I think that's coming in June. But yeah, it was cool. It was about 4 or 5 hours. It was more control. And I really enjoyed revisiting, that world.
That's cool. I still need to play
I liked
this
a whole
game.
lot. And then I also grabbed the Modern Warfare 2 remaster that dropped Tuesday after it was available on the German PSN store by accident overnight, Sunday to Monday, and then they didn't announce it until Tuesday, so there was like playthroughs of it before it was officially announced.
I love it.
Someone
What a
is
weird
getting
time-
fired.
What a weird timed exclusive for PlayStation. Like,
I
that's
think
so weird.
The trailer had like a 2018 copyright on it. I think they've just been sitting on this thing for a while. Because like it was the same deal with the first Modern Warfare Remastered. If you pre-ordered Infinite Warfare, you got like on PS4 you got Modern Warfare Remastered a month early.
Jesus.
Right.
There are
Wow. Yeah.
So
there are
I'm
so
pretty
many fucking Modern
I'm pretty
Warfare
sure this
now.
is like a years old deal that just didn't come up till now. It's weird, but it's a decent upgrade. It looks about like Modern Warfare Remastered did, which is a pretty big upgrade from the original game. It's short, it's campaign only, but it's only $20, which was exactly the amount of gift card money I had left. So I snagged it. That game was a game I played a lot in college, so it was a nice little nostalgia trip for a little bit. So
When did the game originally come out?
2009.
2009. So it's been 11 years. A game that came out in 2009, Sony has what, like 30-day 60-day exclusivity for?
30.
30. It's just silly. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like who cares?
Don't they have a deal with Activision where they
Yeah,
get
they're like
content?
the long-term partner, and they like sponsor like the esports events and but yeah, I don't know anything about the exclusivity. I thought it's a fun port, so it's a decent remaster. So if you're looking to replay that and it's not on your platform yet, grab it when it comes out if you're tempted. But other than that, I'm just waiting for Resident Evil 3 tonight, which I'm very much looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the demo. So
Stars.
Hey man, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake tomorrow, so.
Man, shut the fuck up, Don. Shut up, Don. You know what? I don't want to hear from Don for a minute. I want to know what Derek's playing.
Yeah.
Derek with his better beard than I have. It fucking pisses me off.
I mean, all you have to do is just not shave it and rub conditioner into it heavily every single day to keep it from itching. Yeah, I've been playing. I picked up Fire Emblem Three Houses again. Now that all the DLC is out, and I hadn't had an opportunity to go back since all the DLC hit, because I beat it. I did a Golden Deer playthrough all the way through, and then put it down for a while, and figured I wouldn't come back until all the DLC was out. Now it is, so I did the new side story that's part of the DLC, and unlocked all that content, and I'm doing a new playthrough now, and just having some fun with it. I am just basically waiting for Resident Evil 3 to come out, because I really, really badly want to play Resident Evil 3. I also started playing Divinity Original Sin 2 with my partner, because hearing about Reb and Imran's stories about playing it got me curious. If I have learned anything from playing Divinity Original Sin 2 with my partner, it is that once you remove any form of real-life consequences, she becomes a complete fucking monster. I love her to death. She is murdering her way through every single situation.
Good for her.
So
Yeah. I like it.
And
Good for her.
and hoarding every piece of edible substance she comes across.
Hell yeah.
So she's being the little stabby, murdery, hungry gremlin that I think we all feel inside of us during this self-quarantine period. But yes, I've been doing that, but really I'm waiting for Resident Evil 3 to come out, and I'm sure that Resident Evil 3 is not going to last me for too long. I don't believe that it's actually going to be a short experience for most of us, but it's going to be so worth it. And then I guess I need to get into Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I don't even really particularly like Final Fantasy VII, but I really loved playing the demo for the remake at PAX West.
You just
year.
like the Turks.
What do you mean you don't like Final Fantasy VII?
I knew
Fantasy
this was
VII
gonna
is
happen.
middle of the pack for me personally. I don't dislike it. Like, it's not on the bottom of the list. It's not one of my favorites. I'm very lukewarm on 7 particularly. I recognize it's special to a lot of people. Okay. I recognize it's special.
I mean, to do a John, it's not Final Fantasy 6.
It's not
Exactly.
6. It's not a 6 or a 9 or a 12. But I mean, seven's good enough. I don't have like a deep attachment to it, but that demo was really good. And I did learn new things about myself when those 2 female Turks bullied me in line. So
I only play video games based on the hot boys in them. So that's what...
Well, hey, you've also got Cloud, who we've seen the screenshots cross-dressing too. Like, our
gender fluid icon.
Yeah, our gender fluid icon. I'd take him either way, to be honest with you. So,
Well,
very
as for
pretty boy,
myself,
very pretty boy.
I've been replaying Wind Waker. What's that?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Correct.
is he really?
For sure.
Correct.
All right. I mean, if that's canon, that's canon. I've been replaying Wind Waker for like the 18th time because I fucking love Wind Waker.
Yeah.
I am halfway through Mother 3 on Game Boy Advance. Wonderful fucking game. I'm finally playing through it. Earthbound is one of my favorite games of all time, and I got my hands on a translated copy of Mother 3, and so I am playing that. Of course, I'm playing Animal Crossing, a lot of Animal Crossing, and I've been throwing some Final Fantasy 14 in there, but I'm getting frustrated because I can't find a pickup group that can get me past the Eden Savage 5 raid, and it's really...
Those are
really
words.
fucking pissing me off. It's the one where you have to fight Rama, but he's a horse. He's you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it online, right? It's Rama, but he like merged with Ixion, and so like top half is like Rama, but it's like he's like Centaur Rama.
So he's like a weird, horny, furry fan art Rama Centaur.
But here's the best part.
He watched Beastars. And...
So do you guys know
Beastars turn all of us a tiny bit furry?
So hold on a minute.
Love
Do you guys know
Beastars.
what Rama looks like in the new Final Fantasy 14 expansion?
No. 'Cause I don't play
Can
Final
somebody
Fantasy
drop
14.
a link to the picture in the chat, please? Because in order to really understand, you need to know like they took Rama and made him basically like a sexy dad, but he's also a horse.
That's so weird. Is he just like ripped Santa now?
Do you see it?
Did you put it in the Discord chat?
Did somebody put it in the Discord chat?
Oh, no.
Somebody grab a picture of Rama.
Nobody put it in the Discord
You know what?
chat.
I'll
You're
do
all
it.
reacting as if it's there. It's
I'll
not.
do
No,
it.
I googled it.
Here,
With
I'm
gonna
just
put-
seeing a
Google
lot of
machine.
old dude. I'm not seeing a lot of sexy daddy. I gotta be real with you.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put a link to Horse Rama in chat.
I don't like this.
Here he comes.
Yeah?
Hold on, it's coming.
Yeah?
It's coming. It's
Everyone's
coming.
watching my whole
Yeah.
Discord
Boom, there
screen
it is.
while we
Click
do
that
this.
link. Click that
Well,
link.
you
and
put it
you'll
in the
see-
other chat. Okay.
I did. Yeah, I put it.
I
Yeah,
can
everybody.
click that.
That's Horse Rama right there.
He looks
Like they actually.
Claws. Like
this is a thing that
Grant,
exists.
he looks like Grant Morrison's claws, which is a big...
He looks like Bill Goldberg's claws, to be honest with you. Like, dude, Rama's like ripped. Look at that fucking shit. But here's the best part. He is also the new mount in Final Fantasy 14. When you beat
What?
Shiva, I'm not fucking kidding. Ramu drops as a mount.
You're joking.
I'm not that. What you're seeing there
Riding a
is a
centaur
mount.
has got to be weird, right? Because you can like hug them
I mean,
from
I guess
behind,
it's like. Well, I guess it's
rest
kind
your
of
head
like
gently on their shoulder.
What way are
two
you
people riding a horse, kind of.
centaur?
So
I mean,
like,
presumably on the back, not on the front back, right? But you could also like piggyback on the front back, and someone else could ride on the back. I don't
I
know.
hate
So
this.
you're mounting Rama, like you're mounting Rama.
That's
And-
not a phrase I wanted to ever hear, even in fan fiction corners of the
You
internet.
are so like, and technically, get this, Rama's a bottom, like literally, like
Oh.
you're sitting
Okay,
on top
so
of him.
No.
what are our topics for tonight? What are the?
We need to move on.
We
We have
We
reached the
literally said
end.
we weren't gonna go half an hour with this, and then went half an hour
Yeah.
with it.
What
And
I
we
want to do is
paid the
talk about Final
price.
Fantasy VI. See, my thoughts on Final
Okay,
Fantasy
so
VI are
what are
this.
our topics?
All right,
You
so
know what?
first, Derek, did you want to launch us into our first
Yeah,
topic?
yeah. So first, and I don't want to spend forever on this, but we got the very, very unfortunate announcement that The Last of Us Part 2 is being delayed. At this point indefinitely, which probably doesn't mean like for a year or whatever, but there are, according to Sony and Naughty Dog, there are logistics concerns with actually getting the game probably pressed and shipped more than anything else. But they are having difficulty along those lines. The game is basically done. It's just going to be difficult to actually get it into people's hands at this point due to Auntie Rona, who has been fucking everything up for the last couple of months now. Now, this is not the only game that's been announced to be delayed. Last of Us Part 2 is just the biggest game, I think, for most people to be announced to be delayed. I don't know. How do we feel about this? What does this seem reasonable, unreasonable, understanding that none of us are like shipping and logistics people? Like, what's the temperature check here?
My reaction was, oh man, Iron Man VR got delayed. Oh, and Last of Us 2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Iron Man VR, which multiple of us did not realize was a full game.
I thought it was a Disneyland attraction. I think the decision makes sense from honestly a marketing standpoint as well, because part of what they're selling is, special editions, multiple special editions. If you can't ship those, I mean, look at the hoops Square is jumping through right now to ship their physical copies. Look at the hoops Persona had to jump through to ship their copies. Like I can't imagine how much more difficult it is when you didn't already have that built and you're now just starting the logistics
Right.
of that. So I think it makes sense, and I don't think indefinitely is that ridiculous, considering everybody thinks April 30th is the magic date. I'm talking to people who are biologists. I'm talking to people who live in this world, and the reality of it is it's going to be a long time. And in addition to whenever that time is up, let's hypothetically say September. Well, they can't release in September. Like they can't release the date they initially said. They're going to have to find a new date that coincides with the other games that are coming out. Like it's a whole.
This could be a
It's a whole
PS5
mess.
launch title.
It might end
It
up
was gonna be
being.
anyway, one way or another, but like the PS4 version having to wait that long is a little upsetting.
So,
I think,
like-
I do wonder how this will affect next gen, like what's happening right now.
So apparently, Justin, you want to take that one?
Both Microsoft and Sony have said, as of last week, the consoles are on track to be releasing this year.
Yes.
Manufacturing in China is almost back to full capacity now, so that's not going to be an issue. I think there's going to be economic factors,
That's what I'm
depending
thinking.
about what regions they launch in.
Yeah.
But as far as I understand, it's not going to be an issue of getting hardware out.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's-
currently both are still
Yeah.
on track for this year.
This is
think
also
it's-
true for Nvidia with their Ampere line of graphics cards. We are hearing reports that the cards are being delayed, but only by like a couple months at the worst. Like they're still planning on, from what we hear, probably an August release date. Which is not that late for new graphics card launches. So yeah, it doesn't really seem like manufacturing of hardware is going to be too badly hit. I'm more curious about content creation at this point.
Yeah, I'm also concerned about the promotional side of things because E3 is already off, and I'm not sure how we're going to handle that week. And Gamescom is convinced somehow that it's still going to happen. Even this week, they still said, "Oh, we're going to ramp up our digital presence, but don't worry, Gamescom is still going to happen no matter what, and
They'd be
hopefully
foolish.
our physical event is still going to happen in August, which I'm going to say in Europe is now in the worst shape it has ever been. I don't think it's going to happen, everybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't Gamescom also usually have like 100,000 people or something?
It's
It's
big.
bigger.
It's massive.
It's even more. It's more. It's like 250,000 over
no
across
way.
6 days.
There's
Plus
no way.
also plus the DEFCON days where all the developers come 3 days before, and so it's a 10-day cycle.
So
No way. Yeah.
It's
There-
not gonna. It's
That's not happening.
It's absolutely not going to happen. Like
I think it's disingenuous
Ga-
to not cancel things at this point because
the
you're-
Gamescom, yeah, the
Like,
Gamescom.
people are
Sorry, you
making-
go ahead first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
People are making like flights. They're making hotel reservations.
Yeah.
And like I went to Austin even though South by didn't happen because they told me I couldn't cancel my flight because my cancel insurance covered if I got sick, but not
If the world got sick.
Yeah,
How was the rodeo,
the
though?
Gamescom. Yeah,
they canceled the rodeo.
That's
Oh.
right. I forgot
I don't
about
want
that.
to talk about it. I'm still very upset.
I'm
yeah. The
sorry.
Gamescom like promotional group somehow convinced themselves that somehow this is still going to happen. They're still selling tickets to this very day, both for DEFCON and for Gamescom.
so
And
from-
I just don't believe for a singular second that is going to happen, because even though Germany is the least impact of any European country around, don't get me wrong, they are handling the situation. They're on top of it with testing. They're doing this fantastically compared to many other European countries. Still, they have a lot of cases. It is not going to happen.
Yeah. They don't have a lot of cases, but Gamescom would not help that.
Right.
No. Well, and not only that, but it would be a petri dish for people to take back home to all kinds of
Wherever.
different locations, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, it would cause another outbreak if it happened, basically.
As far as game delays go, like, let's take The Last of Us, right? Like, I think there is there are altruistic reasons there, but I also think that there are financial reasons there as well, right? Like, I mean, The Last of Us 2, Sony wants, and frankly, they should expect this to be a big seller. And with even considering the rise of digital, physical people who buy physical games, that's still a thing. It's still a big thing. I think the majority of games are still bought in physical media, or at least it's at least half and half.
It depends on the game at
Right.
this point.
But that's not going to happen if they release it physically on May 29th, because it's not a good idea. Like, I mean, most GameStops are fucking closing because they're not essential businesses.
Somehow Nintendo convinced themselves that it's still a good date.
Well, so I think Xenoblade Chronicles is actually fine. Because I think that's going to skew much heavier digitally than it will physically.
Yeah.
Nintendo also has a much tighter direct control over their own shipping
Right.
and logistics lines. Like, most companies do not literally manufacture, even in the United... Like, NOA manufactures their own packaging and handles their own shipping.
Yeah.
That is so unusual for the games industry. So Nintendo is uniquely, at least in America, and I assume that it's probably very similar worldwide, based on my experience.
However, though, Derek, keep your
yes.
eyes on Ghost of Tsushima, because that's next.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Well,
the vast majority of games,
yeah.
I should assume, are likely to be delayed or and
Well,
how long is
let's
that delay?
specify,
we don't know.
Derek. Let's specify big games, like big AAA, like indies. I think are going to be fine.
Big physical releases. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead,
going back to Nintendo, I think that with Xenoblade, I think the cartridges should have already been made, because the cartridges are still being printed in Japan.
Yeah. So
Because
yeah, like,
the game is already available for preload, so they must be very confident that's going to ship that day.
exactly right. Like, Xenoblade is going to be fine, I think. I personally think that anything beyond Justin, get your hand up. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, so I was basically going to say the same thing. Like, I think anything in, like, the May to September window, at least, has a very, very high chance of getting delayed. With it probably extending past that a little bit. And I mean, part of it is going to be the retail distribution stuff, like Last of Us was, but part of it is going to be some of these studios probably just aren't set up for a work from home. I mean, in the case of Last of Us Part 2, I'm actually surprised. I was actually kind of surprised when Schreier said the game's basically done. And it was more of a logistics delay because Naughty Dog did not, from what we've heard about working conditions at Naughty Dog, it does not sound like that's a studio that's set up for work from home, especially this late in the development process.
It doesn't sound like it's a studio set up for anything at home, honestly.
It's actually not nearly as difficult as you think to set up the kind of work from home stuff. Let me put it this way. The little news station I work at, which has no work from home, managed to enable 75% of the employees to work from home via VPN over a weekend. So if Naughty Dog can't figure that out and a little Kentucky news station can, like, that is a sign of failing.
I mean, also just what kind of computers and equipment people have at home versus at the office for like high-end AAA game development.
I imagine you would have to give some
a component, yeah.
Also,
I know
Sony
Sony
Entertainment makes their discs also domestically, and I might think that those stations might be shut down too.
So here's a question for everybody, and I want people in chat to consider this as well. One day, at some point, we're going to move on from this, right? Like, this pandemic will end at some point, and things will slowly start getting back to normal. But a lot of things will fundamentally change. And I think that going forward, we're going to see some big changes to the gaming industry as well. Not just the way things are shipped, but the way things are developed, the way things are produced. And I wanted to ask the panel broadly, what changes do we think are going to be lasting here? Like, how do we think this is going to affect the industry in the foreseeable future?
So this is an interesting question because this can kind of tie into our next topic in a way. But with everybody stuck at home, we are all finding a lot of things out. We're finding that we don't need nearly as much time to get work done as we work, right? Unless you're somebody who works like a shift that is built around time needs and coverage needs rather than actual like productivity and getting work done. A lot of people are finding that when they are at home, they are not needing a full 8-hour day to get much of their job done. So we're also spending more time kind of goofing off, consuming content. We are burning through shows and games and movies at a faster rate than ever. And yet we are also seeing how this is slowing down the rate at which content is produced, right? Hollywood is having to really figure out how they're going to approach filming on movies, and TV shows the same way. Big TV studios and production companies have to figure out how they're going to approach filming under these conditions, which will last a long time. Game companies are the same problem. You can't really bring everybody into work. You can stopgap by having everybody just remote desktop into their old computers at work and having only certain key employees in the building. You're going to be able to continue work, but it's going to be much slower and less efficient in that regard. But the production of art is going down as our needs for art to fill our time and distract us increase. So I'd like to believe if people like us, whether that's larger media down to like smaller content creators and topic podcasts, talk about the need and to value these workers, this content creation, that we can come out the other side of this maybe being a little bit more grateful for the work that goes into our free time.
Somebody in chat just made a really good point where they say working from home opens up the talent pool. Like, you can hire talented people that possibly are restricted for, due to disability.
People with disabilities, exactly. We're told that they could not do these jobs from home, and now all these jobs are done from home.
It's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, I bet.
Incredibly frustrating as somebody who is like disabled and has a lot of issues in offices, mostly because offices are disgusting and I get sick so easily. So, I mean, I've been in places where, it was very much not an option, even though I asked for it, even though my doctor recommended it. And so it's almost hysterical to me to watch able-bodied people who are now in danger of their health, having health issues, figure out all these ways to make their lives accessible. when disabled people have been on the front lines fighting for this for the longest time. And disabled people continue to be on the front lines right now. I mean, disabled activists are the ones who are demanding for free testing, who are demanding for Medicaid coverage and onwards and upwards. And I think that continues. And I think the most disappointing thing about all of this is the accessibility community has come leaps and bounds from even a year ago. And the fact that accessibility advocates are not able to go to these major gaming events it's kind of a stake in the heart. And not saying that those events shouldn't be canceled, but it's just frustrating. And I worry about what that will do for accessibility in games continued movement.
I feel like it means, and please tell me if I'm on the wrong track here, although I hope I'm on the right track. I feel like that means it's more important than ever for completely able-bodied people like us to be loud along with you all. Like, it's not enough to just amplify. Like, we need to both amplify your voices on the subjects that matter to you, and also speak up with our own voices and say, this is an important thing. This is something we can't forget. Mm-hmm. You know, it's been really good, really inspiring for me to see a lot of able-bodied people on, like, my Facebook feed who don't talk about, you know, disability advocacy much. Now bringing up the fact that everybody can work from home is kind of a slap in the face to people with disabilities who have been told. And that tells me that we're starting to see past some of the bullshit and we're getting loud. And we need to keep being loud about these things as, like, look, we can do this. When we come out the other side, we can be an art community and a business community and an everything community that has some people work from home. You know, because they can still contribute perfectly well from their own home or with their own specific needs being met. If they maybe need to come into the office but need, you know, certain other accommodations, right, in terms of maybe specialized equipment of some form. Like, we can account for that because we've shown that we can do it at the drop of a hat for everybody.
Well, I know that Don has autoimmune issues himself. So I know that, Don, this is something that's important to you, too.
Yeah, but this country does it way better than some in the European Union, because we have, like, a fund specifically set up for people with disability, and people will actually help them search work and help them with remote locations and stuff.
Boy, that sure would be nice. That sure would be nice in other countries as well. That
I'm
would
out
be
of wine, but I want to take a sip.
That would be great. That would be great.
But listening to that, I feel very grateful for it, you know. But it's a completely different world out there. Like, I know for a fact that many countries don't have such a program.
Justin, do you have any opinion? Do you have any ideas on how this might fundamentally change the industry moving forward?
Nothing really more to add. I am hoping that it kind of helps, you know, game studios kind of get a better idea of what workflow needs to be in the office for collaboration's sake, what can be done off-site, you know, to kind of open up the industry to more people and make it a bit more flexible for those that are. So, I don't really have much more of a take than what everybody else has already said.
Well, you know, something that our friend Daniel Ahmad, Z-Huge, said earlier on Twitter today. I know it's Juge, but come on, it's Z-Huge. This podcast.
Z-Huge.
So fun fact for anybody who didn't know, Daniel actually made his first ever podcast appearance on SDGC like 3.5 years ago. He was on, and nobody knew how to pronounce his Twitter name, so we were just calling him Z-Huge. And it just kind of caught on. So anytime you hear somebody call him Z-Huge, that started here.
It's Zhuge Liang.
I know what it is, Derek. I'm just saying it's
a name. It's a Chinese name.
I know what it is.
Hard.
I know what it is, but it's fun to say Z-Huge.
It's a Z-Huge.
Z-Huge. So anyway, he said something earlier today, and I agree with him. You know, when it comes to some kind of a global lockdown or a pandemic, the games industry, this specific medium is better positioned to weather something like this than I think any other medium is. Because, movies, for example, look at movies. Most theaters are closing. I think the theater industry is in real trouble. Television shows production is stopping on most major series right now. But you don't need to go anywhere to play video games. You can play. I mean, you play video games at home, and I feel like, I feel like video games may actually come out from this. I mean, they probably will come out from this just fine. Whereas television and movies will see some really huge fundamental changes, and I think that's an interesting.
It also kind of depends on their distribution network. What we see with Sony, they're having some issues. Nintendo has a good grip on things, especially as they're producing everything from Japan, which doesn't seem to be hit as hard in the grand scheme of things. So for the foreseeable future, they can keep production going as is.
And on the other hand,
this could kill GameStop.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
it will.
it already has. They just haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, there's a change, right? I mean, and E3 dead. It's not coming back. E3 is not coming back. This killed it.
Well, I mean, E3 was kind of dead after they leaked all of our personal information.
It was, but this was like the stake through the heart. Like,
I remember being on this very show and us discussing it in February.
I remember that.
I could
Yeah,
see
that was
them
a rough
attempting a
time.
comeback though after all this
They
is
won't.
over with.
It's
I
not
could
gonna
see them
work.
trying at
They
least
might
once.
rebrand.
But I repeat
as
what I
something.
said earlier. Gamescom is not happening. Don't fool yourself. It's happening. It's not happening.
I think this is a real opportunity for PAX to step in and fill the void that E3 is going to leave behind.
PAX is 2 weeks after Gamescom. I don't think PAX West is happening either.
Oh no! I don't mean like this year. No, I mean like next year.
In
I think
general.
I think there's going to be a void left by the absence of E3, and I think PAX is uniquely kind of outfitted to step in and fill that void.
What's going to happen during E3 is simple. Like, everybody's going to do their digital events, realize it was much better, and then move on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Nintendo figured this out a long time ago. So, I mean, Nintendo's going to come out of this smelling like a rose, to be honest with you. Because, like Derek mentioned, they do things a little bit differently. So
I mean, they could still only distribute their games digitally and still be fine.
they could.
Yeah,
They absolutely
because
could.
the Switch honestly has such a huge skew towards the digital mix compared to PlayStation and Xbox that I mean it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of like PC gaming is not going to be that affected because it's all digital
Like,
anyway.
the install base of PlayStation 4 is higher, but most people will still buy physical discs because of the bigger audience.
Yeah.
Now, if I may, unless we have more to say specifically on the issue of like,
I think we
delays
bled
and
that one
stuff,
dry.
Yeah.
So I kind of mentioned that this kind of leads into our next topic, in that like I'm hoping that as we speak for the artists, and I use artists in a very broad term, right? Like I consider programmers to be artists because you are a part of the process that creates the art. So I don't like the restrictive form of artist in just somebody who engages in visual or audio art. But respecting the artists and the workers who create the art and entertainment that we consume, and we're learning to value that more than ever right now. And we need to stand
What could you
by
be
them.
referring to, Derek?
Yes, well, it comes out that our deep personal friend of the show, Randy Pitchford.
Okay, disclaimer. Derek is lying.
Yes,
He is not a close personal friend of any of ours.
Randy Pitchford.
Oh, you remember that guy who lied to me directly in my face about landing Colonial Marines during Gamescom 2011?
Yep.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
that
Randy
guy.
Pitchford.
I'm gonna get more wine.
Yeah,
for
get
this.
the
You need it.
wine.
You're gonna need it.
I already burned through the bourbon, but honestly, like I'm considering needing more. So Randy Pitchford, who is the CEO, right, of Gearbox.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
CEO
like
Gearbox.
the top
And a
in
magician.
every single way.
Thumb drive expert.
Yeah, thumb drive expert. Do not get me fucking started on that topic because I will never stop. I will never stop if we get on the goddamn thumb
Randy
drives.
Pitchford is a huge advocate for removable media.
Yeah.
Like he's a huge advocate.
He's
for that.
also an ambassador of Pornhub, apparently.
Yeah,
Is he
I,
really?
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Now he is.
That
I
does actually.
I gotta stop. I gotta
Probably
stop
ringtone.
because I'm gonna blow the fuck up. So, so Randy Pitchford apparently despite the fact that Borderlands 3 was tracking to be a massive release, and of course released to incredible sales and incredible success for the company. It was kind of a known quantity too, right? Like it was Borderlands. Like we knew it was going to be big, unless you were John. But
I don't like Borderlands.
yeah, I don't really either. But apparently, Gearbox workers, basically. Now let me the exact. I do not remember what it is that they forewent in place of. If Justin, you want to hit us with details.
They get paid below market wages at Gearbox. In exchange for revenue sharing and bonuses that were promised to them based off of game sales performance. Borderlands 3 is tracking to be the best-selling entry in the series, and it's already a huge selling series. And they were promised 5- and 6-figure bonus on top of the revenue
profit sharing. Yeah, the revenue sharing. Yeah.
And they were just informed that's not happening.
See, Randy's a magician. He just
all
of
of a sudden,
disappear.
And
do they have a contract? Like what legal
I don't
action
think they
can they
do.
do?
Presumably,
I think because it's technically a bonus, they can't do anything.
Even if it's a bonus under specific stipulations?
I think if it's a bonus, it's not considered guaranteed income.
I am under the opinion that when Randy Pitchford set up whatever contracts they signed, that he would have made sure it was airtight that he could fuck them later. He would not be doing this now as the CEO of their company if he did not already know and had set up in advance that he could do this. So he has them working for sub-market wages.
Also, Randy Pitchford himself got a $12 million bonus for Borderlands 3.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
I cannot believe he would fuck them like this.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Oh, you wouldn't? You wouldn't? It's Randy.
I cannot believe he would fuck
Pitchford.
them on this. No, but like seriously, Randy Pitchford just needs to pull an E3 and fucking vanish into the ether. He just needs. He's a relic. He needs to vanish.
I remember him fondly for Samba the Amiga on Wii, and then he just became Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, exactly.
Why aren't we calling him Bitchford?
Randy Pitchford.
Good one. Yeah, I like it.
I suggested Randy pitch yourself into the garbage.
I prefer the name Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
So, you know, like from a legal standpoint, I had the impression that this was like a spoken word promise, like, hey, we're gonna give you guys some gain share, you know, like, you know, we're gonna, we are paying you, below market wages, but everybody's gonna see dividends from the release of Borderlands.
We're gonna do revenue sharing. There's gonna be a big release, which means it'll be a lot of money for you guys.
If it's a promise, if it's just a spoken word promise.
Yeah, but if that's in any email.
No.
Yeah, but still, like, unless it's a legal document stating I will pay you this. Like he can just say, you know what? I like money, and I like it more. I value money more than I value any of you. So I'm just gonna keep the money. And what really fucking sucks is that I remember him on that panel from PAX East where I was sitting like 10 feet away from him, and he was taking pitches from people in the crowd, and I think about that. And I'm just like, God, what a bastard! Like, just what a shady fucking bastard.
Remember for that DLC pre Borderlands 3 that they made an insult towards the former lawyer and voice actor
of Claptrap.
Yep. Yeah.
David Eddings was the former. Yeah.
Which is weird because I keep thinking of the fantasy writer David Eddings.
Series in advance of the movie that's called Randy Pitchford. It feels like he's not real.
Yeah.
Like, did he have a Twitter blow up this time?
No,
like, did he?
Somebody snuck into his house, cut his internet line, cut his phone line, stole his phone and computer.
He's lucky somebody didn't cut him.
Or they just put
I'm not even sure how he still has a company.
because he is the CEO of the company, he owns half of the company, he owns a majority, as in more than 50% of the shares. So that's the problem, is there's literally no way. Gearbox is Randy Pitchford. Randy Pitchford is Gearbox. There's no way to separate him from it.
Getting new talent. That's my issue.
Because there are people who make Borderlands.
He made a really successful game called Alien Colonial Marine.
Fondly remembered by many people,
including Sega.
I only remember some of the Amiga Wii.
Yeah.
You know, somebody I saw somebody on Twitter today say, why don't people just walk out? And I'm like, well, here's why. Because real estate in the games industry is hard to come by.
Capitalism, folks.
And, yeah, right, exactly, right. Like, it is, like, you know, in the real world, people need to support their families, they need to feed themselves, and you can't just walk out on, especially right now. You can't just walk out on your job anywhere.
Most people don't like their jobs, period. Like, let's clear that up. I love this idea that, like, if you don't like your job, leave it. No, none of us fucking like our jobs. That's not what we do.
Job.
We do our job.
You all know how I feel about my job. I hate my fucking job.
We handle our job because it pays us and keeps us fed and a roof over our heads. That's how it works. Yes, like, because if we don't, we will die. Like, that's how it works. We're held hostage by our employers. So the idea of being able to just choose your employer as if you get to just elect and pick off a list at the beginning of a game as you roll your character. Sorry,
I will say this again.
I will say, though, I like my bosses. My bosses
as a European, it feels really weird to hear all of this.
Yeah, it probably...
Yeah.
Because here it's actually important that you like your job.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm okay with my job. It's not what I would do if I had... If I won the lottery tomorrow, like, I would not continue to do my job. I would volunteer at a zoo or something, but, like... You know, I work for local news. Like, it's an important thing. It's good. I just do math and legal paperwork. It's but you know, like, it's fine. I don't work for Randy Pitchford, but
the real
could be worse.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the unfortunate, like really shit takeaway from all this is that there will be no real repercussions for Randy. Because nobody is going to walk out on their job.
Not without people stop buying Gearbox games.
And that's not going to happen.
If he survives the freaking
I don't know if that's the solution.
Yeah, I don't. Like, because that causes a lot of side pain. It's not really an easy, you know.
And
I mean, if he survives the freaking medieval times scenario, I think he will be okay here.
So, like, in some instances, I'm okay with that. Like, Warhorse Studios, I'm not a fan of anybody there because they're all, you know, a bunch of Gamergate supporters. So I am fine not buying Warhorse Studios games. On the flip side, I'm sure there are tons of good people who work at Gearbox, and I don't want to punish them. Because they are the ones, but I mean, Randy's not busting his ass on anything. Like these, you know, the developers, actually making the game, they're the ones who are busting their asses, and I feel like boycotting them is punishing them for working as hard as they have been when they're already being punished enough. And unfortunately, like, the sad reality is that like, it sucks. Nothing is going to happen to Randy because nobody can afford to leave their jobs right now, and things are just going to go on as they have been at Gearbox, and that's really what bothers me. Like, that's really the thing that bums me out the most about all this, is that there will be no repercussions for this. He fucked
at the moment, though. Let's be real with each other. At the moment that they make a bad game or a game that doesn't sell, 2K will drop them in an instant.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, again, that also
just hurts everybody except Randy.
Yeah, I mean, Randy's got millions. He's fine.
Yeah,
you know,
like, if Gearbox goes under, then all Randy Pitchford does is go back to his folders of barely legal porn, which, like, that's a weird thing to fucking specify, isn't it, Randy?
Yeah.
That's a really suspicious thing.
It sure is.
My not involved in human trafficking shirt sure is raising a lot of questions, huh? Like,
yeah,
I feel like I need to fucking
barely
shower
fucking legal. I don't goddamn believe you, Randy.
Here we go. Derek's lit now.
Randy will be back in 3 months with another bullshit scenario, and we'll talk about it again.
Yeah. She's just gonna be doing magic tricks. I will say, it reminds me of, like, the situation at Riot. Like, there's a lot of women who work at Riot,
right?
And I'm never gonna play a League of Legends game. It's not my cup of tea. But I can't tell people to boycott League of Legends because that's just going to hurt the women who are working at Riot, who are fighting to have a better job at Riot because they love video games and this is their passion.
Yeah.
And it's like, this solution is just to make noise, is to say that as a fan, I want to see better for the people who are creating the content I love. That's the solution.
And
make noise.
Yeah.
Just on the topic of Riot, it sounds like they have been making changes in response to things being raised. People, because people made noise, fans made noise. Somebody pointed out that like they announced a whole bunch of new projects a few months ago, and all of them were led by women or people of color. Which was a huge change. It sounds like they have been shifting, and I mean, whether it's a situation like this where developers are not getting compensated properly, a situation where a studio you love might be held responsible for heavy crunch periods. The solution, I don't think, is not buying their games, because that'll more directly hurt the developers than the people responsible for them. But it's important to, I think, stand in solidarity and show the people that work on these things that you love, you care about them, and you want them to be successful and happy. And I think, shining a light on these things is the most effective way of getting that done.
As this has been kind of a heavy two topics, right? Like first, we talk about game delays due to a worldwide pandemic, and then we talk about Randy Pitchford. I hate even say every time I say his name, I want to go wash my hands. Yeah,
I feel the acid bubble up in my mouth, and I just want to.
Randy Pitchford. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But we're gonna close this podcast on a wholesome topic.
Yes,
and that is the big and let's face it, they're not rumors. It's a fucking
reported
thing
by
that's
several major outlets and journalists, so we can say reported.
All with multiple sources.
Yeah, like it's not a fucking rumor. Lots of Mario games hitting Switch this year as part of Mario's 35-year anniversary. The games that are rumored, like basically the entire 3D stable of wonderful games. Like Mario 64 and Super Mario 3D World and the Galaxy games, and just all wonderful games, and also Mario Sunshine. So
Mario Sunshine is a problem just solely for the lily pad level.
It's a problem for a lot. It's a problem because it's not finished. I mean, let's just be honest.
I still have really fond memories of it. So
I mean,
yeah, I do too. Like
Reb isn't here, and so Reb loves Sunshine, so I'm safe.
I'm looking.
But, it isn't solely bad, but it's what I think is the problem with Super Mario Sunshine in general. And there's too much bloat.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Super Mario Sunshine. So I don't know, because I was off getting a thing. Did we talk about all the games that are apparently?
Yeah. So
Okay.
so we listed. Yeah, but there are also additional games coming to Nintendo Online.
Yes, probably
which-
more older, like Super Nintendo and Nintendo titles.
Which makes me think like Super Mario RPG and maybe like some of the older Paper Mario games. Paper Mario was another game that we're getting a new Paper Mario.
supposedly very traditional, like the original and Thousand Year Door.
Thank you.
So
Like
I'm gonna say it again because we discussed this rumor across 3 different podcasts I've been in. I believe that it can be traditional, absolutely. The story, however, I think it could be still restricted with characters.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean, I'm okay with
open-minded,
that. Like,
you know.
I just want to.
I mean,
want to
Color Splash did that well. Don't get me wrong, but you can do that. But you can do that 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Like as long as the gameplay is more akin to Paper Mario on 64 or Thousand Year Door, then I'm perfectly okay with it.
Sure. Yeah.
But a big year for Mario. And you know what this says to me is that this is the nail in the coffin for Breath of the Wild 2 in 2020. It's not gonna fucking happen.
Please do not make a topic of Mario about Zelda. Come the fuck on.
All I'm saying about Zelda is that this is going to be their big thing this year. Is going to be all these Mario games.
But what does this mean for the Democratic primary, John?
You know what I'm saying, Derek? I just throwing it out there.
Let's be real. People who think that Breath of the Wild 2 is coming in 2020 are kind of high.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah, they are.
Are they ramping up anything with Dr. Mario based on the current?
They're adding more doctors to Dr. Mario World, and you're gonna like it.
Justin.
They added Dr. Nabbit this week. It's gonna be weird.
Justin, go ahead.
Well, I'm really excited about this announcement in particular. It's been a while since there's been a Switch announcement that's really, really gotten me excited. And it's kind of bummed me out. But in recent years, I've kind of found a newfound appreciation for the Mario series as a whole that I didn't really have when I was young. I mean, I liked it. I liked the 2D Marios, but 3D Marios, just as a kid growing up, they didn't click with me all that much, except for the 2 Galaxy games. The 2 Galaxy games were
So fucking good.
I'm gonna straight up cry when I get to play Galaxy 1 again.
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
I'm so excited because, you know, when I was a kid and I read The Little Prince in French class, I'm like, oh, I would love an actual platformer that was like this, jumping from little planet to little planet. And then Mario Galaxy happened, and I was very happy. But so I'm really, really excited to revisit those games, kind of with my new appreciation for the series. As well as 3D World, which I didn't get to play because I didn't have a Wii U.
It's a great game.
And I was also just like, man, I would love a new Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi game, and that's coming too. So like, this is like the first thing in a long time that's really gotten me excited about something coming to Switch.
I will throw out
and
there,
I'm really
Justin.
Yeah.
I just want to say 3D Land is better than 3D World. Just throwing it out there.
I played 3D Land. I have played it, but I still want to play 3D World.
It's good. No, it's a great game.
3D World's really good.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna say 3D World's apparently a deluxe edition, and I'm just gonna say, add Wario and Waluigi, you fucking monsters.
From the
just do
the grapevine stuff that I heard, and I heard a lot because I talked to John about it a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing that I know is that they're adding another world to it, which is
I've heard
crazy
that too.
because that game already has 6 worlds and all of them are freaking long.
Yes.
So
The seventh world is going to make that game freaking insane.
I think we can also probably forget about any hint of Odyssey 2 this year. Yeah.
Yeah. They're focusing on getting all of those ports ready and adding stuff to 3D World in Tokyo. And then, like, Paper Mario is the thing that Intelligent Systems was working on for a while. Because if you don't know, Fire Emblem Three Houses wasn't made internally by Intelligent Systems. It was mostly done by Tecmo Koei. Only their storyboard people and the advisory board for the characters was done by Intelligent Systems.
I'll make a prediction right here. This was not part of the leak, but I think it's a good year to do it. I think we are going to get some kind of word on Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2 this year. I think it's time. I think, the 35. This is the year of Mario. Like, it makes sense. I think that's going to be a thing that's going to happen as well.
War is asking a good question. Do we think they'll do much for existing games, or are purely talking?
I was going to ask you guys that. Yeah.
I think 3D
Justin, go
World
ahead.
3D World is the major one they're going to change for sure. I think the rest is just going to look a whole lot nicer.
What about Mario 64? That's the big one. That's
the one I think is going to get a visual update.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because it has not aged well visually at all.
I also think
sure.
I also think Sunshine will be 60 FPS instead of 30 FPS.
The original version was actually meant to be 60 FPS.
Yeah,
and
they had to change it over the course of development. I think the Switch could easily handle Mario Sunshine at 60 FPS.
Do we think Mario 64 is going to be the DS version or the N64 version?
It's going to be the N64 version. I think the DS version didn't add overly much that I actually really like.
It just made Bowser less cute.
Yeah,
I mean,
made Bowser less cute. That was it.
There were a few cool additional levels, and those levels were fun.
Yo, the mini games in 64 DS were super fun.
Look, I'm sorry, but Bowser in 64, I just want to boop his snout. I want to boop his nose. He's just fucking cute. He's huggable. Like, if you've never seen Bowser in Mario 64, do yourself a favor and Google him right now, because
I definitely want to scratch his chin a little bit.
No. Those little arms of his were made for hugging, not for clawing people.
But once again, to answer that specific question, I think they're just going to HDify all of those games. I mean, like, Galaxy and Galaxy 2 are in the best position to just be upgrade to HD. The rest needs to have some fixes to it.
So here's a question I want to throw at Lizzie, because she hasn't been able to really cut on this yet. Do we think that these are going to be separate releases, or are they going to do like a Mario All-Stars 2 kind of like, here's all these games in one package. For $60 you get 64, Sunshine, both the Galaxy games. I think 3D World is a separate release.
I think that makes more sense.
which is why Nintendo won't do it.
Well, yeah.
Like,
That's a whole lot of frickin' game for one, which, like, I would love that, but...
I mean, you think about it, dude, what? You're talking about
Also
4 games? 4 games are
depends.
$20 a piece.
Yeah. I mean, or they'll do them separate for like 25 a piece.
I don't think they're gonna do that because you have to realize they also re-released them on Wii U with Galaxy and Galaxy 2, and those were
This is true.
$20.
This is true.
Yeah. Although they did charge more for Tropical Freeze on Switch than they did for Tropical Freeze on Wii U. So I mean, who knows, man? Like,
I don't act like I know what Nintendo's gonna do.
Yeah.
nobody knows what Nintendo's gonna do. Like,
But
Hey man, they had a funky mode.
They have the same motivations as when my cat jumps in the sink, even though she knows there's water there, but she still wants to do that, and I don't know why, and I can't figure it out, and it's really the same energy.
yeah, no, it's like
Mr. Daly asks, how's Sunshine going to work with analog triggers? I think that's a very good thing. Good question, because a lot of that game is based around Flying with the Flood. A lot of the levels, especially the red coin ones, are based around maneuvering yourself with Flood. So
well, I mean, shit, Don, ask yourself, how is Mario Galaxy going to work without Wiimote controls?
Mario Galaxy 1 really doesn't require it much. It's more Galaxy 2. If you go back to Galaxy 1, and I've done that 2 weeks ago, the game doesn't really require a lot of pointer controls in Galaxy 1.
Maybe it was Galaxy 2 I'm thinking of then.
It's more Galaxy 2, absolutely. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Galaxy 2. That's going to be the big issue.
Do we even know if we're getting Galaxy 2?
Some rumors say yes, some rumors say no. I'm also kind of 50-50 on that.
Maybe
Because
that
that
one
will be
a
because it's kind of
time.
challenging to
Yeah.
port, especially with the focus more on those
Right.
controls. Because you need those controls for Yoshi very early on in the game. So that's going to be
and doing it with a
big
Switch
problem.
Lite is impossible because unless you've got a pair of Joy-Cons on you, you just want that'll be weird.
You also have more buttons and sticks and stuff available to you at any given time with the Switch than you did with the Wiimote Nunchuck. So
I mean, if anybody can figure out a control scheme to make it work, it's Nintendo. Like, we've
doable.
seen them adapt stuff like this before.
What a weird... I love Nintendo, even though they're so fucking strange and inexplicable and just inscrutable. Like, I don't understand half the shit they do sometimes. But, like, this is wild, right? Because this isn't normally something Nintendo does. We don't see a lot of big collections of their big classic franchises like this.
Right.
Which I think is a real shame. You know, like, and next year I hope they do the same thing for Zelda because they're, you know...
I think outside like Galaxy 2, I think the biggest challenge is figuring out how Sunshine is going to work because there's a lot of broken stuff in that game.
The game just isn't finished. I mean that's the bottom line. Like it was clearly rushed. I mean the game is very obviously not finished. They were trying to get it out as quickly as possible, and I
don't think
why.
necessarily it's finished. It has a lot of bloat that doesn't belong there.
Yeah. I don't think I would expect for there to be changes really to Sunshine beyond what is needed for any control adjustments and any graphical
updates. I think the Pachinko
updates.
level and the Lily Pad level at least need different physics engine.
They might need some. Yeah, they might do some minor updates to stuff like that, but like they're not gonna like add levels or cut stuff out or redesign levels. They're gonna maybe
crazy if they're gonna think that.
They're gonna maybe update like the Sandbird level to have better hit boxes or like boxes on the bird itself, so it's easier to actually land on it or something. But
or like make the controls for the boat better, make it so you don't instantly sink or something like that. Like a couple small little like gameplay tweaks here and there, but I don't think we're gonna see substantial added or reworked
once again, I
content.
saw like comments on Twitter, oh, they're finally gonna remove blue coins. No, they're not.
No, they're not gonna
No, they're
not. So here's my question. It's more of a thought than it is a question. As awesome as this is, like I love Mario. I love Nintendo games, period, but I especially love Mario. So I'm super excited about this. I'm going to play every single one of those except for Sunshine. But I'm just not going to play Sunshine.
You monster.
But I'm just not going to do it. But I refuse to believe that this is Nintendo's big tentpole release this year because these are all still ports.
Right.
I do not think that this is their big holiday game or games or collection. I don't think that's the case.
Then I'm going to ask you the logical question. What do you think the actual holiday game is, John?
Mario Kart 9.
No. There won't be a new Mario Kart on
Kart.
Switch.
I'm throwing it out there. Mario Kart 9. It's time.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still selling.
It is, but think about what Mario Kart 9 would do.
Probably not.
And here's the thing: make it
not as well as Deluxe because it already has an install base.
Yeah.
Do it like Smash Bros. Ultimate. Make it just Nintendo wide. Throw Samus in there. Throw all the fucking Nintendo characters.
That might be
in there.
how the next game works, but it's not going to happen on the Switch. 8 Deluxe is what we got. Like.
Then what is it though? Like Mario Kart is really the only thing I can think of. Justin, go ahead. Justin got his hand up.
So honestly, I think a big Mario collection and DLC for Pokemon, and then they'll probably do like an Ultimate Edition release or Deluxe Edition release of Pokemon. I think those are kind of the smart things for Nintendo to release right now, especially if both Microsoft and Sony are launching new consoles. It's something that nearly everybody that owns a Switch is gonna buy.
Sure,
it's not something that has the same kind of investment as like a new big AAA title.
Right. Well, maybe Paper Mario. I don't think Paper Mario has the weight to carry like the big.
Here's the thing with Nintendo that we need to realize this: the biggest sellers every single holiday season are already the evergreen titles.
Yeah. Nintendo can coast through this on just evergreens plus new. I mean, like Xenoblade's going to be huge all through the year.
And these are going to be new evergreens.
Every one of these Mario games is going to be huge. You don't think Animal Crossing is going to keep Smash
Animal
Brothers
Crossing,
keep selling? I mean, Animal Crossing right now is selling Switches.
And let's be honest, a Mario collection is a pretty big pipe dream for some
huge
people.
Stuff. So I got to say, Mario is one of those things that I consistently underestimate in terms of how important it is to me. Like, it's almost the reverse of Zelda. Every Zelda game, every big new Zelda game that comes out, I hype it all to hell in my head, and then I play it, and it's really good. It doesn't really live up maybe to the hype that I had, but I enjoy it, and I have fond memories of it. And but Mario is always something I go, oh, a new Mario, yeah, that'll be good. And then I play it, and I cry. Like, it's just
that's
good.
normal. Right. That's normal.
Like, I just don't know. Like, I got teary-eyed because Jump Up Superstar came up in my shuffle on my phone, and it reminded me of the sheer joy and wonder of playing that game for the first time and all of the best parts of Mario Odyssey, and I got teary-eyed.
Escaping the Moon in Odyssey is still my favorite Mario
I had to wipe
time.
Water out of my eyes. So
I've had those moments.
Yes.
With Spotify. I mean, not with Mario, but like
with all kinds of stuff that triggers a memory, and you're just like, I didn't need to get emotional right now.
I didn't think Final Fantasy 15 would hit me the way it did. Like, I thought I would like it okay. I was kind of iffy on it in regards to like a return to the series, but the end of that game, I sobbed like a goddamn baby. I mean, I was like blubbering, and then recently, mind you, I was on my period, so a tad more emotional, but Spotify was like, did you want Final Fantasy 15? And I was like, no.
Did Florence Welch start wailing and you just lost it?
For me it was like last year I was driving I was driving home from work, and I found an actual like an operatic live version of the orchestra from Final Fantasy VI. With this, this woman was singing and it had the orchestra, and I was like, it drove me. I was like in my car, like,
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Gusty Garden Galaxy does the same thing to me. Gusty Garden Galaxy and Mario Galaxy. If I hear it and it comes, like, I'm telling you, I'm going to start up Mario Galaxy and get to Gusty Garden Galaxy and have to just put down the controller and cry in my living room.
Gusty Garden Galaxy does to
theme.
Derek what the sunset does to Brendan Fraser in Bedazzled. Like every time he hears Gusty Garden Galaxy, he's like, I hear it and I just want to stop.
I have that with the Rhythm Heaven games.
Yeah, this is so I worked at Nintendo, remember, for the 30th anniversary. And I have my 30th anniversary
look at that
polo with the special.
That's fantastic.
Special buttons, weird button pockets, and
hold on. Is the Super Mario Bros. Part like bedazzled?
It's
I hope so.
Can we get a fashion
it's
show?
Not, but it
looks knit.
It looks
like stitching.
So here's the thing: it's been worn and washed a lot, so parts of the like you could see the Nintendo on the arm is just starting
Yeah.
to come off, is what it is. Also, it's backwards because my camera's mirrored on the screen capture, but which doesn't make it any better. But yeah, no, it's just like the big anniversaries for Mario in particular are no other franchise comes close in how important it is. I mean, not even Zelda. And I think that underestimating how big all these I'm fucking excited to play Sunshine.
I'm not.
And I know Sunshine is the game that you either really love because it's the underdog or you really hate. But the simple fact of the matter is, I played 64 a billion times. Galaxy was out recently and on systems that were until recently available to purchase. Sunshine's the one that's been the most lost in a certain way. So
You know what's funny about all this, Derek, is that I recently busted my Wii U out to play Wind Waker, and I was the day before this rumor started, I was like, I need to play Galaxy again for the fourth time.
Yeah.
And I was about to re-download it, and then this news broke, and I was like, well, never mind. I was like, nope, I'm gonna play
I'll
that
just wait.
shit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how crisp that's gonna look on the
It's gonna
Switch?
be gorgeous.
Oh God! I'm still not convinced this is going to be their big tentpole release this year. Just
They will
because
have
people will be like, oh, they're ports. They're still just ports.
They will have a
And
big
here's the thing.
original tentpole title for the holidays that we may not even know about yet, because it is Nintendo, and even if the whole rest of their year is full of ports, they've got something planned. It's not just going to be evergreen titles and Paper Mario and Pokemon DLC.
Didn't
They've
they say
got
they
something.
wanted something Zelda and Mario every year?
They don't
Yeah, they do. They do.
marketing the way everyone else does marketing.
Yeah, they keep it real close to that chest. So
Yeah, they kind of pull the whole, well, it's either available now and we just announced it, or it's available in a month and we just announced it.
We also have to realize this is the first time they haven't talked about their holiday game pre-June, which is sort of an unprecedented time to also think about.
yeah, but
So
the thing
I
is
think-
too, the way with the Switch is that it's what is their big holiday title could really surprise us, right? We didn't think Xenoblade 2 was going to be worth a shit as a holiday title, and boy, did a lot of people eat crow on that one. So
Do you think that there might not be one because of the situation in the world?
There's
that's
gonna
possible.
be one.
That could
It's
change
possible.
anything.
It's
But I mean,
yeah,
don't be surprised if Pikmin 4 or whatever ends
I
up
could see
being
Pikmin 4.
being the big holiday
No.
title, because Pikmin 4 could do more than 1, 2, and 3 combined just because it's a Switch game.
I could see
Yeah.
Pikmin 4. I really could. That's a good call, actually, because we know Pikmin 3
I've only
is coming.
called
At the very
for it
least-
every single direct for the past 2 years.
At the very
so-
least, it's not gonna. At the very least, it's not going to be.
You're bound to get it right.
Everybody
Yeah.
makes fun of John for Metroid
Yeah.
Prime Trilogy. Nobody has yet to make fun of me for my constant predictions of Pikmin 4. So
Yeah.
now
But
that I'm
it's
bald, that will
also-
change.
Also, we also need to realize it's not going to be as stacked as 2019 was.
No, it's
because
not.
They released 19 original games throughout 2019.
I will say it's important to note that, and we'll close on this. The other week, actually, there was a leak. Apparently, Nintendo's internal servers were hacked, and some interesting stuff was found in there. So, what was the name of the?
Well, it's their new version
it
of
was the,
Flipnote or Swapnote
Flipnote,
or whatever.
right.
Was
This is
Flipnote-
confirmed to be an April Fool's thing.
Yeah, it's confirmed to be fake.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Oh well. Oh
Oh,
well.
you-
So
I didn't
much for
really
that.
pay much attention to it because I didn't
So
have
much
much
for
of
that.
a
But,
attachment
once
to
again,
Flipnote. So.
Yeah, once again,
Press F in the chat.
don't underestimate how important Mario is for them. And I still think
Oh,
that
absolutely. Yeah.
it's going to be the top 1 or 2 tentpole this year. Even if we don't get anything else, I think you have to realize that getting all 3D Mario games, getting the deluxe version of 3D World, which you can play with 4 people, which is a perfect multiplayer game. You have Paper Mario is a very good tentpole to have. And maybe even including a big Mario Maker 2 update.
Super Mario Party 2, baby.
Anything
now with
anything-
online.
So that's not going to happen
Makes me
because
so angry.
Worldwide Games is developed by NCube.
A
Yes.
So
fucking
angry
up-
it's not online. It makes me so angry. that
An
Mario-
update to Mario Maker 2 really would be nice, Nintendo. Especially
Yes.
since there's a big blank spot on one of those Mario styles that just do something Super Mario Party is another one. Like, not a single fucking board since that game was released. Not a single new board. Not a single update. There is
Nintendo
no reason.
doesn't care about your feelings.
You're gonna get a sequel, and it's gonna be better in every
just
way.
moved on. And the Cube just moved on to
moved right on to Mario Maker 2.
51 worldwide game.
Mario
What about a
Party
new
2?
Mario Golf?
No. They moved on to 51 worldwide games.
No. But what I'm saying is,
June.
do you guys think we could get a new Mario Golf this year as part of the 35th anniversary?
No, Camelot is more than dead.
Camelot gone.
That really makes me sad.
Camelot is the next studio to go. I'm saying this straight up.
Don't tell me.
After Alpha Dream, Camelot is the next studio to go. They have not been on a hot streak over the last 6 years. And it started with a very disappointed Golden Sun sequel on the
I'll end on
DS.
this. Do you think maybe we'll find out what Retro is doing this year?
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4.
It's a joke, guys.
This is clearly the year of Magical Star Sign 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. But watch. Dio
Brownie
Dio
Brown's
was right.
coming back.
This is going to be the year of Metroid Prime trilogy, and it'll be the one time I said it's not happening. Like that's my fucking luck. Just release the goddamn thing, Nintendo. It's been done
Custom
for a year.
Robo.
Dude, Chibi Robo, man, bring it back.
No, Custom Robo. It's not the same
Skip
thing.
is also dead. What do you expect? Skip
wanna
is
do-
already dead. It's
I
a
wanna do
holding
Star
company
Fox.
for IPs.
I want to do Star Fox. All right.
Nintendo bought Chameleon Twist.
You guys are going to be all fucked up when you find out that Nintendo bought the Bubsy franchise.
Glover 2.
Glover. Blasto remastered. No, I'm sorry. Blasto was a PlayStation game.
Who knows?
Blasto
They
was
might
PlayStation.
revive an old franchise.
Oh, now Don's fucking with you.
What franchise is that, Don?
He ain't saying. You know it.
Don, just DM me later.
He ain't saying.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you to
fucking
everybody
Buck
who
Bumble.
Thank you for everybody who tuned in to us tonight. Thank you, of course, as always, to Dawn for joining us, and Lizzie for her first time. And Lizzie, I hope it won't be the last time. I hope you choose to come back and join us again.
Yeah, definitely let me know when I'm not painting nails.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, tell me when you are painting your nails, and I'll tell you to come on.
That's when you're gonna. Great.
Catching people
I'll
off
try
guard
to-
is my forte.
try to-
What we're doing is not dabbing.
Yeah, no, there's no dabbing. On
There's
this
no
podcast. Derek, don't you fucking do it. Anyway, Derek, you want to take us home tonight?
Yeah.
Do we have any?
I don't know if we have any community game night stuff coming up.
We're gonna do something this weekend with Animal Crossing.
Yeah. I don't have any other housekeeping notes beyond that.
Oh, don't forget next week.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's wait until we make sure that all scheduling works out before we announce that.
Okay.
Given everything that's going on, everyone needs some mental health time. I almost didn't make the show this week. I basically showed up out of spite to yell about Randy Pitchford. And I'm glad I did, because I had other things good to
Now
talk
you
about
feel
and
better.
friends to talk to. But
I'm really concerned that Randy Pitchford is what got you out of the depressed time.
I was like,
in a way,
desperate time.
I'm
as it
gonna
turned
rip
out-
that man open.
as it turned out, Randy Pitchford was what brought us all together.
Mm.
In our hour of
The real
need.
Winnie
No.
Pitchford was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, let's just make sure that when he leaves after assembling us, that he doesn't leave any fucking flash drives behind.
It's,
Randy's like Randy told his employees, the real gain share are the memories we made while developing.
Randy's
Borderlands
parents
3.
didn't know what to name him though. Anyway,
Oh,
so
man.
that's all we got. Bad jokes and bad bullshit from here out. Thank you all for showing up.
great.
Look, it's scary out there. It's tough. It's going to continue being scary and tough.
Yeah.
I don't have a way to make that better. But do whatever you must and whatever you can to stay safe and stay mentally
can't-
healthy.
We can't stop the pandemic, but we can stop loneliness.
That's true.
You can.
Please stay home. Please go out as unoften as possible and listen to guidelines from places like the CDC and the WHO. Stay safe. We promise to do the same, so we can all meet up like this on Thursdays, right? And show up to. I don't have the correct Discord link, unless somebody updated Nightbot, so that link probably won't take you anywhere.
Whoops.
So I apologize for that, Rar.
Oopsie.
But
Let me find out.
Yeah, and we'll do a community gaming night over the weekend with Animal Crossing. Those have been
Yeah, we're
pretty
definitely doing
popular,
a community game night this
Yeah.
weekend.
I will probably be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much love to all of you. Be careful, stay safe, stay healthy, talk to people, reach out to your friends and family, and we will see you all hopefully next week.